Good morning, team and family. Today is April 6th, 2020, and it is a magnificent Monday. We are going to continue our studies in our online classroom with virtual learning. I'm going to share the screen. All right. Good morning, fourth grade leaders. Today we are going to learn about, drum roll, sales. Yes, we are going to learn about sales. All right, so our learning goal for the day, I can identify plant sales, their structures, and the functions of those structures. And remember, function is the job that something does or what it does. All right. So all living things are made up of cells. There are two types of cells that we are going to learn about, plant cells and animal cells. However, today our focus is going to be on plant cells. So our essential question for learning is, how are plant cells and animal cells different? This is the big question that we're going to be focusing on this week. Right? And so to answer this question, we are going to need useful links that I posted in Google Classroom. And I made sure to put it up under a title, a topic. The topic is going to be sales. When you go to the classwork tab, you'll see sales, and under sales, you'll see our first day. Each day, Ms. Davis will continue to add more days and more topics, more content, more material. So when you go to Chicago, you'll see the exact same thing. When you click the classwork tab, you'll see sales, and you'll see Monday, April 6th, 2020. When you go to Michigan State, you will also click tab, the classwork tab, and under sales, you will see Monday, April 6th, 2020. All right, so we're going to work out of Notre Dame today. I'm going to just click the tab from the homework stream or the classwork stream, and it'll bring us to today's instruction. So we're going to start out with our vocabulary, our FAB vocab. And all of the vocabulary will not necessarily be used for this particular lesson, but I still want to go over them. So the cell theory is just the theory that all living things are made of cells and all cells come from other cells. And we'll talk more about mitosis and meiosis later, and that's how cells come from other cells. All right, and so what is a cell? Well, a cell is a membrane-bound structure that is the basic unit of life, right? And cells are microscopic. That means that they're so small that you can only see them with a microscope. You can't just look and be like, oh, my arm has cells. Look at those cells. You actually have to have a microscope in order to be able to view them. All right. Inside of cells are organelles. An organelle is a structure with a particular function, and it's inside of a cell. And remember, we said a function is what something does. So an organelle is something that's tiny, it's inside of a cell, and it has a job that it does. Now, plant cells, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Plant cells, these cells can make their own food. They have a cell wall, and they have chloroplasts. And chloroplasts are these little green things here that give the cell its color. Animal cells. These cells do not have a cell wall or chloroplast. So animal cells are what we have. The nucleus. The nucleus, if I was to compare a nucleus to anything, I would say that it's a brain. So the nucleus is the brain of the cell. It tells the other organelles what to do. That's the other little parts inside of the cell. A vacuole. A vacuole is an organelle that stores food and water in the cell. And some vacuoles will store waste until the cell can get rid of them. So inside of the plant cell, the vacuole is really, really large because it stores water. And inside of the animal cell, you may have multiple vacuoles, and they're actually pretty small because the animal can go and get its own water to refill the vacuoles. Cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is like the jelly-like soup. It kind of looks like jello, clear jello, and it fills most of the cell, and the other cell structures float inside of it. So it's like the jelly-like substance where the organelles all sit and float inside of the cell. And the cell membrane. The cell membrane is a structure that controls which substances can enter or leave the cell. So protein leaves the cell through the cell membrane. Water and waste leave the cell through the cell membrane. And a cell wall. Cell wall is a rigid structure that surrounds the plant cell, surrounds the cells of plants. And so this would be the cell wall. Now, this structure, where this blue is where the cell membrane is, but this green is the actual cell wall. Chloroplast. Chloroplast is an organelle found in the plant and algae cells where photosynthesis takes place. Chlorophyll is inside of the chloroplast, and it's what gives the plant cell its green color. Mitochondria. Mitochondria. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It's the organelle that is the site of ATP, which is the energy production. If I could compare mitochondria to anything, I would call it the cafeteria. It's where the energy is produced inside of the cell. Okay, chromosomes. Chromosomes. So chromosomes are thread-like structures of DNA, and they're located inside of the nucleus. So where you get your hair color, your hair texture, your skin color, a hitchhiker's thumb, where you get long earlobes, attached earlobes, all of those genetic features are embedded in your DNA. And that DNA is found inside of the nucleus or the brain of the cell. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. So photosynthesis, it occurs in the chloroplast of the plant cells, and it's where the plant makes food and energy. All right, so it uses water from the soil. It collects the water from the soil. It also collects water from the stomatas, or the openings on the leaves. So when you go outside sometimes in the morning and there is moisture or dew on the grass or the leaves, the plant is releasing a little water, but it also takes water in through its leaves, and it collects water through the roots. The plant also collects sunlight energy, and it collects carbon dioxide from the air. And it uses these three things, the sunlight, the carbon dioxide, and the water, to undergo the process of photosynthesis. And photosynthesis is how it makes glucose or plant food. And it is a byproduct. So once it makes its glucose, it also makes oxygen. It releases oxygen as another product. So one product is the glucose that the plant uses, and another product would be the oxygen that the plant does not need. And so it gives it off into the air, and guess who needs it? We do. All right. So next is cell function. So cell function is just basically the job of a cell. Organelles have functions and cells have functions. And it's just what they do, what they're specialized to do. And then carbon dioxide, we just saw carbon dioxide in the diagram. It's a colorless, odorless gas, other known as CO2. And so, again, when the plant is undergoing photosynthesis, it needs energy from the sun, sunlight energy. It needs carbon dioxide from the air, and it gets water from the soil and sometimes on the leaves to undergo photosynthesis. And then the two products or byproducts of photosynthesis, one is oxygen, which is released in the air, and then the other is glucose. And glucose can is used by the plant to make food, but it's also consumed by other organisms as an energy source. All right. And then water. Water is a colorless, transparent, odorless, tasteless liquid, other known as H2O. We say that often. And it has two hydrogen molecules and one oxygen. And then oxygen, a colorless and odorless gas that people need to breathe. And so, again, we get those from the plants. The plants give off the oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis. Glucose. Glucose is a simple sugar that is an important energy source in living organisms. And so glucose was one of those byproducts. Again, here's the glucose. It was one of those byproducts of photosynthesis. So the sunlight energy, the water, and the carbon dioxide are all needed for photosynthesis. The byproducts are oxygen and glucose. Cellular respiration. So cellular respiration is the process by which cells use oxygen to produce energy from food. It occurs in the mitochondria. And so it's really, really complex. I just wanted you to see it. And we're not going to go into details about it, but I really just wanted you to see the process, how glucose is broken down through each stage, the glycolysis and the pyruvic oxidation through the Krebs cycle. Ms. Davis always wants to expose you guys to more and more material because I know that I have some future scientists and engineers in my class. And then tissue. So cells are the smallest basic unit of life, and in specialized cells work together, and we call them tissue. And then they form different organs. The tissues, they form a different organ. So it's a group of different tissues combined together into one structure to perform a main job in the body. And so a specialized group of tissues would be in the brain. A specialized group of tissues would be in the eye, would be in the hair and the heart, and so on. And those tissues put together, we call those organs. And then those organs will be put together in a system. And you'll learn more about body systems when you get into the 7th grade. But again, Ms. Davis just wanted you to become familiar with cells and some of the structures within the cells and the jobs that they do, their function. All right, and so we're going to play the match game. After you go through the study cards, you're going to play the match game. And last week, Ms. Davis rocked it out, but I had a couple people like Aiden Martinez and Angel Finger to also rock it out and to beat my score. So let's see if we can do this together. All right, so these cells do not have a cell wall or chloroplast. Ooh, that's an animal cell. Only plant cells have chloroplast because we can go eat our own food. All right, these cells can make their own food. That's plant cells. All right, these organelles store food and water in the cell. Some store waste until, oh, that's a vacuole. There's a vacuole. All right. A jelly-like soup, that's the cytoplasm. Microscopic, gotta be microscopic. And a simple sugar is glucose. Okay, so my second was, my time was 36.9 seconds. See who can beat my time. All right, remember, use the Quizlet flashcards to study. And then after you use the Quizlet flashcards to study, try to go through them a couple times. The main ones that I want you to know are definitely the plant cells and the animal cells. Today, we're focusing only on plant cells. All right, and then play the match game. See if we can beat Miss Davis time. All right, so once we have done Quizlet and we became acclimated or familiar with our FAB vocab, I see you, Khalees, I got you. after we become acclimated with our fab vocab, we want to watch this video. And so this video is just basically, it's a really short video, and it's just talking about some of the key structures of
Thanks for stopping
the
by.
plant cell.
This is 2-Minute Classroom, and today we're talking about the plant cell. The plant cell is the most basic unit of life in all plants. Let's go through the major structures of the plant cell and
Hmm.
on the function of each. We'll start on the outside of the cell wall. The cell wall is a rigid structure of cellulose that provides strength and structural support to the cell and plant. The cell wall is also permeable, meaning it allows fluid to move freely. This is not the cell membrane, which is our next. The cell membrane is what separates the cell from the environment outside the cell.
Mm-hmm.
It is also known as the phospholipid bilayer and has barrier structures to allow for selective inflow and outflow of matter and other molecules. Next is the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is everything that is comprised of the cell membrane. Cell organelles, proteins, and other
Mm-hmm.
plant cells have a large central vacuum, and this vacuum is used for storage, while the rest of it is black cold and the shape of wood. Each plant has fluid pressure.
Right.
Underwater plants don't have full central vacuum, and thus the word pressure is low. The Golgi apparatus or Golgi box is the packaging that is used in the center of the cell. It modifies molecules of proteins produced by the cell and sends them in vesicles to be shipped out
Out
of
of
the
the
cell.
cell. Mm-hmm.
Ribosomes are next, and they are small structures throughout the cell made up of proteins and RNA. They are responsible for translating RNA into proteins for use in and out of the cell. They are found in 3D protein in the cell or bound to the endoplasmic reticulum. And this is our next structure, and we are actually through that cell. Both endoplasmic reticulum and endovascular stores the proteins that are made on the ribosomes and bacteria. It's these ribosomes that give the endoplasmic bacteria name.
Mm-hmm.
Proteins make up the multi-ionize cell of Golgi apparatus. This is what includes the vacuum ribosome and the involved in production of lipids and ATP molecules. A full portion of the center of the cell is not necessarily the location for the function. This label is labeled before and post. DNA is read by special proteins and turns thymine and adenine to translate these proteins. Information that comes out of this indicates how the cell functions and, ultimately, how your genes matter. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the cell is located and its essential functions. The mitochondria is composed of nucleus, the nucleus of the cell. The soil of the mitochondria is the chloroplast.
Chloroplast.
The chloroplast is fully organic outflow. It converts oxygen into sunlight and glucose into carbohydrate output. It is
Glucose.
a rare source of important energy as is the chlorophyll. The cytoplasm is the structure of the liquid of the cell.
Mm-hmm.
The liquid gases consist of microtubules and exosomes. It gives cells their shape and structural support. The exosomes are proteins.
Mm-hmm.
Responsible for the production of isoprene. They also play a critical role in mitosis. They attach to the cell and help keep it from
They
dividing.
have pulled it apart.
So that's a quick crash course in the plant cell. If you learned something, like this video and subscribe for great content. I'd love to respond to your comments, so please leave those below. Don't forget to check out my other videos.
All right. And we will check out some more videos later. All right. So once you watch the YouTube video, and you can watch it a couple times, then I want you to go to the next link, which is just a simple Google form. It has 3 questions. They are open response, and you just answer these questions. When you're done, press submit. And then that will be it for today. All right. So if you have any questions, just send Miss Davis a message. I am available just like your other teachers. We are available. There we go. We are available until 3:30. And for those of you that have questions, you can email us. You can message us on Dojo. You could actually leave me questions in Google Classroom, and then I will respond to you. and help you to the best of my ability. So, again, we have plant sales that we are going to be focusing on for the next couple of days, and then we'll move towards animal sales. We want to be able to compare them and their organelles, tell how they are alike and how they're different, and the function of the structures within the cells. All right, promise. Have a wonderful day. Bye.